Welcome back to Absolute Comics, the show right here at Comicstorian at twitch.tv/Comicstorian as a part of the Comicstorian podcast network, where we bring you podcast shows every Tuesday and Thursday. How many times can I say podcast, Sal?
I at least 10 more.
10 more? Okay. So the Comicstorian Podcast Network also brings you Absolute Comics. We bring you the Comicstorian Review Show. We bring you the Comics Experiment. We bring you Red Hood and Arsenal, a Dungeons & Dragons adventure. And we are bringing you a horror adventure for Halloween. Make sure you check that out every Tuesday and Thursday, most of them starting between 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Right over there. And today, since we are dual streaming this one over at YouTube, my name is Benny. All of you guys know that because you're on my YouTube channel. But this guy over here on that side is Sal, my dear friend, known him for years, and he's been doing this show with me now for about 2 years. And you can go check out his channel over at Comic Pop, where if you enjoy discussion type content, that's literally what he does. And if you enjoy the two of us joking around and talking about TV shows and movies related to superheroes, go check out Absolutely Marvel and DC, a channel that we created jointly to literally discuss every show that we watch.
That's right. Hell of an intro. Nice.
I can't believe I did that in one take.
I'm amazed. It's
lastly,
really good.
I need to let you know, today's sponsor is G Fuel. They've got the flavors of Venom and Carnage and Monster Hunter. I like Carnage and Monster Hunter. Venom's a little to be desired. But if you use the code COMICS at checkout, you will get yourself 10% off of your order. Or if you use it on this weekend, 30% off of your order. Because I don't know when this is going to get published out into the podcast spectrum.
You'll save something, and you'll enjoy Carnage. Let there be carnage in your mouth.
Exactly.
Drink it.
So today's topic is going to be a lot. We'll talk probably briefly about the MCU pushbacks as well, but there's a lot to talk about today. So we're going to go through all of FanDome.
Here we go.
And if you're looking for extended trailer reactions, they're going to be on Absolutely Marvel and DC. We will talk about these trailers briefly as we go through them, but like we're talking 20-minute discussions of each one at the other channel.
Yeah.
So, all right. Dan got me a list of literally showing us beat by beat as it came out.
That's right. That's right. By the way, I should say, before we jump into the FanDome, I felt that a lot of people were expecting Marvel to do some kind of like, okay, let them do their FanDome, and then we'll do this. And it's like, the thing they did was push everything out of the way of Batman.
Well, let's talk about this to begin with then. So I haven't looked too hard into it. Did they just push everything out of the way of Batman? Is that what they did?
Yes. I think Doctor Strange 2 is going to go like a week after Batman. Now it's like a month.
Oh, it's in May. It went from March to May.
Yeah, just get out of the way.
Wait, is Batman coming out in March of 2022?
Yes.
Oh, that's why they pushed it all back.
Yep.
So
they were like, oh, that's when Batman's coming out? Okay, everything move. Move out of the way of Batman.
Okay, now that all makes sense. It's almost like, dude, I can just picture HBO, because HBO Max is kind of behind all of this stuff with WB now.
Yeah.
But I just picture WB being like, all right, Batman release date.
Yep.
You know, and then they just look over at Disney and they're like, checkmate.
Yep.
And Disney's like, fuck.
Yeah. Solo Batman movie. This isn't a Batman team-up movie because we know Batman vs. Superman should have made $1 billion. Didn't. Justice League has Batman in it. Again, not $1 billion. We've seen movies with Batman in them. Those don't make $1 billion, but we do know, at least since the Nolan trilogy, Batman makes $1 billion. So,
yes.
Solo Batman movie, hype up the wazoo. Everybody is enjoying this movie in terms of if they've seen it already, if they've just seen the trailer. No one isn't hyped for this movie, except for you. I saw your comment. But everybody else, hyped as F for this movie. So I get it. Marvel's like, okay. The reality is, like, we could release Guardians 3 in March, but we will lose money. Like, we have we have to get out of the way of Batman.
They'll make most of their money.
Yeah.
They'll probably lose $50,000 to $100,000, but Disney is so tight-belt about all of their money. They will move the movies 2 months and then move the whole slate back.
Whole damn slate, 2 years. It's amazing. By the way, not bad. Like, that's fine. Give us room to breathe.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I am.
You know,
I applaud them for finally realizing this, because on one hand, they don't want to compete with Batman, but on the other hand, they are aware they will be competing with Batman, because I'm getting really tired of all these movies being like, all right, Suicide Squad came out and like Shang-Chi's like a week later. Now, that wasn't how it went, but that's for the longest time they kept stacking them like this.
Yeah.
Like, it's a pain in the butt.
Right? And if you look at the Marvel slate, if you combine it with the Sony Marvel slate, like, there's a lot of stuff all kind of in the same time. And it's like, give us a minute. Like, we all don't have disposable incomes to just throw at movies. We're not all necessarily going to the movies every week, and it's not quite back to normal again, if it ever does. So your expectations of billions and your need to kind of stack everything, it's not quite the same way it used to be. So slow your roll. And I'm glad they are, because...
And for the record, we have a comment over here from our Twitch side, Undead King Taz, saying it was check, not checkmate. No, it would have been check if Disney didn't budge.
Yes.
Disney immediately was like, all right, we're going back 2 months.
All right, see you
win.
later. Yeah, you can, and by the way, I don't blame them at all. It's Batman. Even DC admits, like, well, this is the biggest thing we have. Like,
oh yeah, that's why he's in everything.
That's why he's in everything.
They made a Bat Family book, and they're calling it Batman Urban Legends.
Yep. Yeah, the least amount of Batman I've seen in a long time in a Batman book.
Yeah. I didn't realize they were so directly connected, but it makes total sense. And they haven't, not like they came out and said it, and maybe Marvel needed more time, but I have felt like ever since Black Widow came out, they've been on track. They know what they're doing. But for Batman to be announced and then the announcement of the move happened, that just makes sense.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I'm sure that Black Widow hurt. Like because it didn't. I know it did well on Disney Plus, but the Scarlett Johansson pushback plus just the overall lack of billions and the new normal of of box office draw plus the streaming thing. I'm sure they were like, we can't just drop a Marvel movie and expect everybody to just give us $1 billion. Like that's not a world we live in anymore. So yeah.
So I did want to also comics. We saw something else in our comments over here because we do the show live at twitch.tv/Comicstorian. Someone else mentioned, like, what about Marvel? Do they not have a DC FanDome? I saw someone answer that question, and they do have the Disney investor call.
Yeah.
And they do make a big deal about it. But the problem with the Disney investor call is it's a Disney investor call. They don't make like a 4-hour Marvel event.
No.
Marvel has like 45 minutes. So does Star Wars. So does Disney Family.
Yep.
So does Discovery. Like, they're all there talking. So.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised and disappointed in Marvel for not having like a thing, because I expected FanDome to not necessarily cover the comics. I expected them to kind of like relegate the comics to maybe like a tweet on Sunday. And instead,
which I'm so happy of that we have comic news to talk about, because that's our bread and butter here.
Exactly, and I'm so happy that I'm glad for them that they weaved it in. Like there were comic announcements within these announcements, which is basically just it's an entertainment trade show, and that's fine. But I'm disappointed in Marvel for not like following suit or leading the charge, because there's opportunity here. Like, you don't need... I feel like there's still a place for you to do that. Like, that Marvel and
100%.
DC Comics could do their own, like, FanDomes, but just about the comics. I think you could still do that and get a nice showing. Get a good chunk of people. It wouldn't be the kind of people that showed up for a Batman movie trailer, but it would be a nice showing. It'd be a nice effort, because, like, a lot of the creators are themselves, like, carnival barkers like us, and they'll do it for free.
Yeah.
So... Anyway, FanDome.
All right, FanDome. We got a lot to go through, so we're just going to move through this relatively quickly. But first up was the Black Adam first look. Now, we talked about the teaser trailer over at Absolutely Marvel and DC.
Yes.
The channel Sal and I run. You'll hear that name quite a few times in today. But what we didn't talk about was a lot of them having The Rock, to me, having him come out felt like this was announcing, and I feel like this is why they did this. This was announcing the new era of DC. Like, you came out with one of the biggest actors in movies right now.
Yes.
As your opening thing in your DC FanDome. It was The Rock coming out being like, hey guys, I am Black Adam. Like, and we know he said it. I follow his Instagram. I try to do his workouts. It doesn't work for me. Yeah. This was supposed to be me doing his shrugs. Like, I know it doesn't look that way, but
I wouldn't even know. I'm not even close. No, I would just implode. My skeleton would just fall apart.
But I don't know. I don't know how you felt about this, but them starting with Black Adam, it really felt like they wanted you to be aware we are doing something new. Joker worked. We're doing another villain movie, and we got The Rock.
I think that. Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
Based on the comments that were going on during FanDome, based on the hype and the ever-swelling lead up to the Batman trailer, they knew they had pretty much 3 major tentpoles that were going to get people excited. It was going to be Batman, Flash, and Black Adam. And Flash has Batman in it. Black Adam's the only one out of the 3 that didn't have any Batman. So it was a really smart idea to take Black Adam opened the show, big bombastic thing, charismatic actor, everybody loves him. Like you said, the number one like action star of the world right now. And so it's like, here he is, he's saying like, and there's a lot of hype because the movie's been worked on for like 20 years. And so here it is, and it's like Black Adam. And it's a great way to be like out of the gate. Because I think if they'd open it with be like, Barry's getting his gold boots in the CW. Like, no.
Which is the next thing we're going to get to.
Right. But I really want to talk about that because it's so funny. But like, if they had opened with that, I think you go from, because I was watching it on YouTube and I think they had like up to about 50,000 live viewers. And I think it would have been like, gold boots, like to like 20,000. Just, oh, it's going to be like this later. Call me when Batman comes out. But with Black Adam, it's like, oh, cool, Black Adam, yeah. And first look. And finished CG. Like, it looked good.
Right. No, it did. And that's what I loved about it. I'm a little sad they didn't reveal his face in the cowl because, like, you're literally showing us The Rock and then a guy in a cowl. Why can't you just
Do you know, does he have pointy ears in this movie?
Oh, I hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't.
I bet he does.
I follow an old friend on Twitter, and she does this thing where they pretend to be fairies and then take photos of themselves with pointy ears in the park in full fae costume.
Uh-huh.
And on one hand, I look at it like, that looks neat. On the other hand, I'm like, aren't you 40?
Yeah.
And I'm not against it, but and it's one of those things that I just chalk up to, Benny doesn't understand this fandom.
Right.
Benny's not going to.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, listen, I feel like Namor's not going to have pointy ears either. So, but he should.
Yeah.
He should. Anyway. Yeah.
I hope he does. Okay, so the next thing, because, I mean, that's all. Black Adam was amazing. We did a whole discussion on the trailer itself.
Yes.
I'm excited for the characters. I'm excited for the actors. I think this is going to be amazing.
Yep.
But I've also admitted this multiple times, I am a huge fan of The Rock. I will watch The Rock in anything.
Yes.
I watched that Die Hard wannabe movie with The Rock.
Oh, yeah. I'm not the world's biggest Rock fan. I like him, but I'm not like, yes! Like, I don't watch Fast and the Furious. I have no connection. I didn't watch that Rampage movie. You know, like, I don't need to see everything The Rock's in. I appreciate him when he shows up. I'm like, oh, you're fun. But I'm not, like, a big Rock fan. So, finding out that, like, the JSA is going to be in this, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, now
Adam
I'm really
Smasher
excited.
And Hawkman. Yeah.
Right? And Dr. Fate, I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. Like, that's exciting because Black Adam is either an anti-hero or a villain. And I'm like,
right.
I'm not, outside of Suicide Squad, I don't really want to watch a movie just about a villain, but if it's a Black Adam vehicle that is all through the lens of, hey, also here's the JSA, I'm like, cool. Let's see that.
I have the exact opposite opinion because I feel like that's one of the problems Marvel has, and I've said this for like years, and they haven't fixed it.
Yeah.
DC has villains that people look forward to. They know them recognizably, from Joker to Black Adam to Black Manta. These are characters you recognize, and they've had a year of the villain.
Yeah.
They've had a villain months. They've had, like that. DC has villains that you could make viable movies out of.
Yes.
100%.
You can make a Bane movie in a day.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And I would love to see them go that route and lean more into the thing that they have that Marvel doesn't have, which is strong villains that stay villains. Now, I am worried between the Joker book, where Joker's currently like fighting against the villains and working with Jim Gordon, so he's kind of becoming an anti-hero, and now we've got Black Adam on the Justice League.
Yeah, but he crippled his daughter. There's no way the Joker and Jim are going to be hanging out.
I'm just saying, I'm worried that DC's finally going to pull a Marvel and start making every popular villain an anti-hero.
Because that's the Marvel method, isn't it? Like, that is Marvel.
Marvel's like, oh, you guys like Magneto? He's working with Charles now. Oh, you guys like Doom? He's an Iron Man now. Like, they take their villains that would be good standalone villains, and they're like, good guy.
Yeah, that's Venom. That's every villain in the Marvel universe. Like, Doom himself has had, 4 different series dedicated to him? So, like, yes. No, you could absolutely just... I mean, look at Loki. He's one of the most successful villains in the MCU. Gets a show where he falls in love. And you feel bad for him, you know. Like, I'm so convinced that there was a big conversation, where they were like, "Does Thanos have to die? Like, can we make a show about Thanos? Because like people like him and he's really charismatic." And it's like, he's a genocidal warlord. No. But
it's not genocide if it's random.
No, yeah, exactly. Like in the cartoon, it's like no, but it's random. It's fair.
One of our commenters commented with, we call it the Vegeta Effect, and I love Vegeta, and I loved seeing it happen once. Let's not do it on every villain.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like Vegeta was a dope villain, and then when he needed to team up with the gang, it was like, the stakes are higher. Like, I
Well,
get
yeah,
it.
they were high enough that he was involved. The issue with a lot of Marvel villains becoming anti-heroes is a lot of times the anti-hero story is just they want to be a good guy.
Oh, I know. Juggernaut was a hero for a while. I know that, like,
Sabertooth is finally bad again.
Sabertooth. Yeah, Sabertooth. Sabertooth.
It was funny. I was having, for those who don't know Absolute Comics, we're going on a lot of tangents. We'll get back to FanDome in a second.
Yeah.
But I was having a discussion the other day about Wolverine versus Sabertooth.
Right.
And the person I was talking to was like, I don't understand. Sabertooth is considered his villain, but you never see Sabertooth. I'm like, well, it's simple. Sabertooth's dumb as shit. Sabertooth has no intelligence.
Yeah.
So whenever you have a Wolverine versus Sabertooth storyline, it's literally a 2-issue fight, and Sabertooth runs away.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's all you can do, right? Is Sabertooth is savage. He, like, maybe murders a girl that Logan's sleeping with, and then he leaves.
And he's like, I'll get you again, Wolverine.
Happy
Logan,
birthday,
you'll be
Runt,
so
I'll get
afraid
you.
of me. Yeah, like, I'm
that's
hunting
it.
you at your birthday.
Yeah, that's all he does. I mean, like, that's all he did. That's what made you love Sabertooth.
Right.
Admit it. That's why you love Sabertooth. But yeah, no. So I hope that Marvel learns the lesson, but DC at least is like, whole movie about a dude turns people into skeletons.
We'll see. But yeah, so we're excited for that. The next one is Grant Gustin reveals the next season Flash suit.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a person who watches CW Flash since the beginning, and I review it on our other channel, but I have been watching it since the beginning, they've made a big deal about every suit, and some have been winners, and some have not been good.
Yep.
I have never once, and I never thought about it until they had Grant Gustin come out and be like, yeah, guys, I've been trying to fight for gold boots since the beginning, and I'm like, we haven't had gold boots?
Yeah, when they mentioned the boots, I'm like, has he not been wearing boots? I don't watch the show.
No, it's normally like a spandex red sleeve that goes up. Like I guess he's wearing a onesie this whole time.
Yeah, whole time, head to toe onesie. He's wearing feety pajamas, but like, yeah. The thing that blew my mind about this gold boots thing was just how high. They're like, the boots are back. Hashtag the boots are back. They had like a desktop wallpaper of like just the boots by themselves, no legs in them. I'm like, do you guys really think I care that much? And then you see it like full page image, and I'm like, I mean, yes, he looks like the comic book now. It's been an iconic design for 70 years. Way to go. Like, thanks for finally catching up. It's too bad The Flash apparently is such a terrible show that like people who love this show are just like, please kill it. It's like Stargate fans. Please just kill this show. It's over.
Oh, yeah. Like most is Flash fans that I know that are watching the show, like me at this point, we just want to know how it's going to resolve.
Right,
like,
just end it. Just end
just
it.
End it. Just bring it to the end, please.
Right?
But what I find hilarious about this is, were they waiting to do the gold boots when the show was at its lowest? Like, thinking that this would be an uptick?
Yeah, well, in case of Glass, get out the gold boots. Like, yeah, if we ever crap the bed that badly, bring back the boots.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It struck me as being very odd and very weird, and
you know what that sounds
I'm on
like?
board with it,
right?
But it was just, we had a whole segment on it.
It sounds like that's the only thing that they can be excited about. Like, we don't have great storylines. We don't have any cool villains. We got no good villains. We have no good storylines, no good romance, no good new characters. But we do have gold boots, and we're gonna focus on that. You're welcome. Like, okay, but will it be fun? Will I enjoy the show? Oh no. Oh God, no. It's gonna be really bad. You're gonna wish this was Legends of Tomorrow. That's how bad it is. Like,
no, Legends of Tomorrow's good. Dan does
know.
nothing but Dan. How's Legends of Tomorrow?
Really good.
I've heard good things from Dan.
From Dan. All right, so moving on, the next thing we got is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom behind the scenes, showing crazy concept art, including giant grasshoppers, desert creatures. Director James Wan promising a globe-trotting adventure that isn't afraid to embrace its fantasy. I'm excited because Aquaman 1 was good. I'm excited because I like James Wan on The Conjuring and all those movies.
Yeah.
I'm slightly worried because of Maleficent. They are letting James Wan do whatever he wants.
Oh, Malignant, yes.
Malignant, yes.
Malignant. Oh boy. But I'm sure it'll be fun. Jason Momoa is the most charismatic actor I've seen in years. We're getting the blue stealth suit, which is kind of fun.
Yes, I'm excited for that.
That's all I can say about it. I do want to say James Wan was wearing a Jaws shirt during the behind the scenes segments, and I like that movie. So good for him.
And that is Sal's contribution to our Aquaman 2.
That's it. That's all I can say about Aquaman 2 is like, hey, I like Jaws too, James Wan. I see what you're doing there. Nice.
I also enjoyed this thing. I'm trying to get, that's way too bright. We'll go back to what I Oh, my lights are all off. I didn't realize that. So I'm trying to like fix my lighting issue mid-show here.
my light switch is outside of the studio in the hallway I share with people. I can't even begin to start messing with lights. So, yeah.
All right, so Aquaman, King of Atlantis, 3-part animated special event debut on HBO Max with a clip from episode 2. So this is a show that seemingly is made by the same minds. Like, it's got the animation of like Adventure Time and regular
Thundercats
show,
Roar.
a Thundercats Roar, that goofy or trying to look bad kind of animation.
Yep.
Dan and I are going to watch it for our channel where we review things, Absolutely Marvel and DC. We're going to watch episode 1. I'm not promising the rest of this.
That's fine.
But I'm going to pull Dan back in here for 2 seconds because he watched, I believe, the first 2 minutes. And his initial reaction of the first 2 minutes of this cartoon show is...
It was so weird, but I will give it a chance, and hopefully it'll be one of those weirds that once you get used to it, you're like, yeah, okay. But I'm not very hopeful.
We're going to watch it because it was funny because I'm like, I'll watch it for the sake of the channel. Who's diving into that pit with me? I'm dragging Dan down.
Right.
It's always me. If it's a cartoon or animated, I'll be the one that ends up watching it. So.
That's all we really got to say about that one, though.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not going to watch that.
I don't even think we could pay you enough to do that one.
I don't think so. No. I value my time more than that. I can't just look at that show. Like,
So moving on to the next one. First actual comic book announcement. DC announced the DC's Milestone Initiative as the first program of the next generation of DC, a new venture created to develop the next generation of comic book artists, writers, colorists, editors, and more. The initiative gives fans in the U.S. the opportunity to apply for the Milestone Initiative Development Program, which features a one week in-person training seminar at their Burbank offices, which I've been to, and they are awesome. It's like half museum, half offices.
That's cool.
Yeah. You've been there, haven't you, Sal?
No, I was not invited to the Burbank tour. I did get to go to the former Machinima headquarters where they filled it with all their costumes, but
yeah,
that was it. I did not get to go to DC.
Okay, well, I'm sad.
Yeah, that's fine.
And basically, it's going to be a technical course with the Kubert School where participants hone their skills and become part of the next wave of comic book art writing.
I have been to the Kubert School, but that's only because it's literally 2 miles away from my house.
Oh, I had not been there.
Oh yeah,
but
no, I was there. Like
this sounds awesome. I like the idea that they're starting up something using the Milestone name for something other than like, oh, we got Milestone. One day we'll do something.
yeah. No, for years it was just that. But I love the idea of them like using using Milestone in DC as a backing to try and like help people of color kind of break into the industry because it is harder for them. And I love the idea. There's more for Milestone too. We're getting like all kinds of stuff. If you liked old Milestone or if you've never tried it, they're releasing.
Dan didn't grab that, so we'll talk about that now. Then.
Oh, well, we're getting some kind of like 1,500 page compendium that's going to collect like the series you remember.
My joke about that was like that is nothing but a collection piece.
Yeah.
You can't give me.
You can't read that.
All right, I'm gonna sit down. Oh, my legs. My goddamn legs!
No, you're gonna have to get one of those lecterns, like a church, and just put it down and be like, there we go. Now I'm ready to read hardware.
I mean, it's awesome that they're doing this as a way to preserve it. I love that, and I love the collectible aspect of it. But I'm just like, there's no way you can read that. The spine is gonna shatter the moment you open that thing.
Yep. You're gonna open it and just, that's it. Yeah, all the pages are just gonna fly out of there.
It's going to have some kind of reinforcement on it. So I don't know what they're going to do, but it's going to have something. Yeah. But they're also talked about how the season 1 did well. They're going to be concluding season 1 of these. We're actually working on getting Static Shock, or its actual name is Static, but the Static comic book here on Comicstorian is coming out real soon.
Nice.
Because that reminded me that we covered issue 1, and then they got hit with all the delays.
Right.
So I forgot that it was even happening. So we're going to cover that real soon right here at the channel.
Yeah.
And they already said, we're already approved for season 2. These books are going to continue, so we're not going to leave them at like terrible cliffhangers.
Agreed. That's fantastic. Yeah, season 2 is Static. I think Hardware is also getting one. Icon Rocket.
I think Icon Rocket, they said, did well enough. Those are the 3 that they named by name that are getting it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Blood Syndicate is going to be launched. But so you're getting a bunch of Milestone. Plus, you want to talk about the other thing they said about Milestone?
Which was the other thing?
The movie.
Oh, well, I don't get. I mean, we
got a poster. Like,
you get a poster, but they're working on a Static movie apparently.
Oh no, I'm talking about the Milestone animated movie where it's like everybody in Milestone is gonna. It's like an Avengers type cartoon movie.
Oh, I didn't. I must have like looked away for a second.
There's a poster and they're making it, and I think it's Brandon Thomas is working on it. It's like people who you can trust who make good things are making this movie. So it's like,
Okay.
oh, cool.
I know that they implied they're working on a live action Static. which I thought
Yes,
would be
Michael
cool.
B. Jordan, I think, is producing that or something. Like,
Yeah, they basically, and that's why I wasn't going to mention it, because they basically were like, yeah, guys, we're doing a live action Static. And Michael B. Jordan's excited. I'm like, what a way to name drop that.
yeah, but that's all we know. We don't have anything else. So
Yeah.
it's hard to get excited before we see anything or hear anything. But it's still
So-
pretty exciting.
Next up on our list is the first of the game announcements. Suicide
Yes.
Squad Kill the Justice League debuted a new story trailer. I am excited, but this didn't show anything.
Well, no, what you're talking about. There's more cinematics. No gameplay.
And I don't know if I can't decide what's wrong with the faces. I don't know what's wrong. I don't like the faces.
I don't like King Shark's face at all.
Like Harley Quinn just looks like almost like
it's
she's
weird.
It's weird. I don't know. It's weird.
There is something weird about that. The game will play great because it's a time-honored studio that makes great games.
Yeah, Rocksteady's doing it. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for the concept of a Suicide Squad attacking but I want to see gameplay, because this is the second year now that we've been hyping up a Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game with no gameplay.
Yep. Can't believe it.
This is mostly an extension of the original trailer.
Yes.
So
Yes.
It was good. I liked it, but that's all we really have to say about it.
Yeah. Nothing left. No,
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know.
I actually chatted a little bit more about theories on this one with the crew over at Absolutely PlayStation and Steam Gamers. As you know, this is Absolute Comics. We have Absolutely Marvel and DC, but we also have Absolutely PlayStation and Steam Gamers, the little baby of the brand. But the Absolute brand has a gaming arm, and we did a much longer discussion over there. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I don't have much more to say about it in general. I didn't over there either, so that's why I'm not super hyping up that video.
Exactly. That's fair.
But all right, so next up we got the Peacemaker official teaser. So, one hand, I thought this was incredible. I
Yep.
love John Cena in the role. I thought it was hilarious. It was great. I loved the eagle hugging him.
Yes.
That was like, he's hugging him. He's hugging him.
Get the camera. That
Dad,
was
get the
really
camera.
funny stuff. No, I
On
love
the
it.
other hand, I just find it weird that they're making this show ahead of so many other potential properties. But I did have to remember, Titans, Doom Patrol, Superman, and Lois are all HBO Max properties.
Yes.
So they just didn't have the right home at first.
No.
It's interesting that they're making this show, though. It's gonna be fun. I think it'll definitely be fun.
Oh yeah. No, I am really excited for this. It's the one TV announcement they made that I'm the most excited for.
Right. And that's just it. Like, it's new. It looks funny. It looks well made. It looks like, even though the other shows are technically HBO products, this is the first. No, we made it in HBO. It's for HBO. This is
Yes.
this is our attempt at Disney Plus shows.
Right. Yeah. This is the Hawkeye show. This is the Falcon Winter Soldier show. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it looks hilarious. I'm excited for it.
Yep. Yep. It's
and
gonna be dope.
There's not much to talk about, only because it was all new characters, all new stuff. Like, it didn't really pertain to much.
No, although I will say, I'll use this as an opportunity to say, there's a character in the show, Vigilante, who's like a ridiculous kind of like niche character. In the first issue of Vigilante, they establish a character that there's no way James Gunn can avoid, and if he's not in this show, he must have been told no. There's a villain in Vigilante called Brand, and he looks like if Colonel Sanders hit the gym, and he wears a head-to-toe white outfit, and his thing is he has a brand. Like, and I don't mean just like his theme. I mean, he has like a telescoping stick with a bee at the end that gets hot, and he brands people with them. And I guess it gets so hot that it kills them as well. And it's like, that is so stupid, and it's so crappy. And he looks like he has like a Civil War general mustache. He has white curly hair. Like, he looks like, there's a very niche reference, but he looks like Pierce Hawthorne's dad from Community. Like, he looks like this, but jacked, head to toe white, and a brand. He's called Brand, and he brands people with a B. There's no way James Gunn's not like, Brand is going to be in our Peacemaker show.
Yeah, because if he's aware of Vigilante, he has to do that.
Right? He's got it. It's the first issue. But Brand sucks. He sucks so much, there's no way James Gunn couldn't possibly resist him.
I love James Gunn's work. Like, his work on
Right?
the Suicide Squad, his work on Guardians. He's just
Yep.
I watched Brightburn. I thought that was great. I've watched his classic stuff. I've loved his work. So.
He's great. Yeah.
All right, next up, we got some art from the upcoming Superman animated series, My Adventures of Superman, was released, as well as a look at Smallville while it celebrated its 20th anniversary, and it's getting a new re-release.
Yeah.
that was fun to see them and hear the stories of Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling.
And Tom Welling just hanging out and talking about the old days. Yeah, that was really cute.
I still loved it because they referenced how Lex always had so many more lines than Superman.
Yes.
And Michael Rosenbaum was like, I'd go through this whole thing, and then he's like, so? And I would just turn to the director like, is that all he's got?
Yeah. Right? And nothing. I gotta give it a whole nother soliloquy. Yeah.
And also they made me think of something I never thought about. Because Michael Rosenbaum brought it up, and he was like, yeah, what was up with Lex's security? Because Clark would just walk in.
Right. Yeah. That was
I never thought about that. I'm like, he's a billionaire who runs all these corporations, and there's no security for Lex Luthor?
Nope. Yeah.
Like, you would freely... look, Superman maybe slipped in, but, like, Chloe would come in.
Right.
Like Green Arrow would
I'd walk
come
right
in.
up to him. Yeah. No. There's no... That's the most unrealistic part about Smallville.
But they didn't imply this whole animated series, which now has been revitalized.
Yes.
I didn't even know it existed, but there was a leak that they had talked about it a while ago. But no, there is no confirmation on that yet. They're just still working on it from what we know.
Right.
Next up, we have Jim Lee introduced a new modern slogan for the Man of Steel: truth, justice, and a better tomorrow.
Okay. He never says it, so whatever.
That's always been like, I get truth, justice, in an American way. I get it's a classic slogan, but other than like the 40s, he really hasn't said it.
He hasn't said it in at least 30 years.
And it's because, like, generally, like, America's not been the most... I'm not going to go to political discussion, but we've had a lot of things going on where being proud of America is very divisive.
Yes.
So they just stopped having him say it. That's what
right? Yeah, the last time I remember anybody of worth using it was in the Joe Kelly book. The issue was called What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way, which is like... That's fine, and I like it that it's a relic, but I also have no problem with him saying something else. They keep messing it up all the time. Like the last time I think any on-screen Superman even said it was Chris Reeve. The first time. Every time after that, it's like a reference. They're like, truth, justice, and whatever. They've been doing that forever. Forever, they've always been like skipping over the American way thing. So for them to... Superman doesn't say it. Like, he's never said it. It's not been any books.
The big reason is for the longest time, they've been trying to make him appeal more to a wider, broad audience.
Right.
To go into the international scale. And if he says the American way, then that immediately discounts any other country. Yeah. So that's why he just hasn't been saying it forever.
Right. I mean, like, and I saw some interesting discourse about it where, like, because being American, a lot of pop culture comes from here. And I don't really get a chance to think about what that must be like in other countries where it's like the normalization of American culture overseas and how like weird that must be. Like whenever when we get like, thankfully nowadays you get new stuff like Squid Game or something and it's like, cool, everyone's just embracing it as opposed to like, this isn't in Wisconsin. I don't accept this. But, but there's been a kind of acceptance of like American culture throughout the world. And, for most people, out overseas, it seems like they're either not interested or don't care. Where they're like, okay, he doesn't have to say that anymore. I don't remember that being a thing. Like, I don't think that people aren't buying Superman comics or going to see his movies because he used to say that 50 years ago. So
I also don't think it matters that this is the new slogan. Like, I don't get why like they're like, oh, it's the Man of Steel slogan. Well, you didn't say the other one that for a while. So why do we need a new one? Why don't you just
I thought
leave
his
it
slogan
alone,
was up
Jim
and
Lee?
away. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, up and away. Up and away. I've heard more than Truth,
right?
Justice, American Way. Yeah. Like, why even give him a new slogan? Just let it kind of become the archaic thing, and we're done with it. You know?
Well, just have him say something else someday, and maybe don't make a big stupid deal about it. Like, I get them saying the bisexual thing. They were like, we're telling Time Magazine, we're telling all these different outlets so that like we can get some freaking people to buy comic books. But like, no one's gonna buy a comic book because they changed the third thing in a bullet list of stuff that Superman fights for. And
thank God, Sal. Thank God. Now that he fights for just a better tomorrow,
right?
I'm gonna go pick up the new book.
Now I love Superman. Now I'm gonna give him a try. Like, no, it's not a reality we live in, and maybe it would have actually been more accepted if they didn't make such a big screaming deal about it. And it's like stupid. Like, because then anybody who's like, oh, that sucks. Comic book fans. Here's the thing. Comic book fan, you want to trick a comic book fan? Put it in the comic book and don't make a big deal about it. Yeah, that's how you get it. Because then they go, well, it's canon. Like, anybody's like, oh, he used to say the American way. He hasn't said it in 60 years, and it says it in this comic book. It's canon. I don't care about that. Yeah. It's like that's the end of the argument.
So, well, we'll move on to the next one.
Yep. Yeah, sorry.
DC's League of Super Pets showed an exclusive first look showing Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Krypto and Kevin Hart as Ace the Bat Hound. I'm going to love the shit out of this movie. Not even from The Rock, because like The Rock works for me when he's in an action film and he's jacked and you know what I mean? But you
like
put Kevin Hart as Ace the Bat Hound?
Right. I didn't even know that was who he was. I was like, I missed that one. So
Oh,
I knew that Kevin Hart was in it, but I didn't know he was playing Ace. That's
I'm
funny.
so it's a show about the pets.
Yeah.
I also don't know why it took so long to make this.
Right? It's weird, but I'm glad they made it. And it's, here's the thing: it's for kids and for adults. But
it's for kids and then me and Dan, right, Dan?
Yeah, right.
This is my new thing. I'm just gonna drag him in randomly. You better be paying attention.
But yeah, I'm excited. It looks good. It looks like it's gonna hit the right audience.
What I'm hoping to is I'm just gonna catch Dan playing his Epic 7. Oh shit!
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, not much more to say on that one.
No.
Doom Patrol's mid-season 3 trailer was released this season. The show only having 4 more episodes left, with the finale on November 11th. The show is confirmed to be coming back for a 4th season. Doom Patrol's been great. It's been that sleeper hit that when it first came out, I was like, "There's no way this would be good," and I've been glued to it since then.
Yeah.
So I am on board. I love the show. Have you watched Doom Patrol at all, or is that one?
Yes,
on your...
I've seen at least the first 2 seasons, and it's a great show.
Yeah. They just do such a great job of just making it a character-based show. Oh, they also happen to have powers.
Right.
Which is what I love about it.
And it's like the things they don't take directly from the comics match the comics in spirit and tone.
Yeah.
So that's all anyone asks for from an adaptation.
Yeah. So I love that show. It's one of my favorite shows coming out right now. I honestly think 1 and 2 are better than some of the Disney Plus shows.
Oh,
just because they take time to really flesh out things and not just trying to, let's turn it into a movie.
Yeah. Well, plus it's more like subversive and irreverent. Like it's neat.
Yeah.
It's a neater idea. It's fresh.
I do agree with that. Our chat, Snow on the Throne says, Doom Patrol is wonderful. I just wish Cliff wouldn't say the F word every other word. That is my one complaint. It does get on my nerves. I'm like, dude, just calm the hell down for 5 seconds. Like,
that's Cliff. He can't chill out.
But I just feel like somebody's walking into the sound booth, stomping on Brendan Fraser's foot, and like, all right, go.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we got first look at the new Flash movie. We did a full theory review on this one, but I first off can't believe this is being made still.
Yeah.
This is like when the Justice League stuff came out, and they're like, "Oh my God, we're gonna get rid of Zack Snyder, and it's all over. We're not doing it anymore." But Aquaman's still coming out.
Yep.
It's exactly what this is. Like, we got contracts. Flash is still gonna happen.
Yeah. We're just gonna try and use it to explain what our next initiative is going to be, instead of just making a straight up Flash movie. Like, you could have done the dastardly death of the Rogues or anything. And they're like, how about Flashpoint? That thing that also has a justification for Batman and allows us to reboot our universe. Makes sense. I totally get it. I get it from an executive perspective. It's just kind of like, oh, all right. If I were a huge Flash fan, I'd probably be really upset. Right? Like,
I want a Flash movie. I don't need Batman in my Flash movie. I'm getting a Batman movie.
Yeah, and I said this before, but I'm like, if this does well enough to justify getting a Michael Keaton Batman sequel, I guess that's
all you want from it.
That's
like,
all I want.
I'm cool with Supergirl being in it, and
sure.
alternate Ezra Miller with long hair being in it.
Right?
I'm cool with all that. On one hand, I want Batman in it. The other hand, I don't want him in there because that's going to be what everyone talks about.
It's not about Flash.
Cameo of Michael Keaton.
Right. Or he's in it the whole time, and it's like, that's even worse.
It's going to be so much worse, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Well, hopefully it does well enough where people love Flash and they make more Flash movies. I can't help what they did, and but if they want to call Tim Burton back and make another Batman movie, that'd be kind of cool.
So,
yeah,
the
the suit doesn't look done.
You're
by
not
the way.
gonna have an old Michael. I mean, I want to say old, but he looks good as the Vulture, Michael Keaton.
That's the thing. He doesn't look that old. Like, they could make a Beetlejuice 2 tomorrow, and it wouldn't be a problem.
You want a Beetlejuice 2?
No, I don't. But you know what's funny? Warner Bros. Has been trying to make that for at least 25 years.
But they need Beetlejuice, and he won't do it, right?
That's the thing is, Keaton said he'd do it if Tim Burton came back, and Burton said the same thing about Keaton. So it's like, they just need to do it. But there's a script out there. It's called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, and you can read it. It's out there and the internet.
Okay, I'm gonna read
It's
it.
not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. I mean, how could it be? You know, it's like that. It's like that Roger Rabbit prequel. Like, yeah, no, it's not good.
Yeah. The next one up is Sandman TV series was confirmed. But I mean, I thought that was already confirmed when the cast listings were like blowing up the internet.
And the trailer that came out.
Yeah. Like I get it. I get it. Like it's coming out and people are excited. And it's gonna probably be good for the people who want to see it.
Yep.
I mean, I'll admit here, I've actually never read Sandman, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I like the comic a lot. It's really good. That's all I'll say about that.
I hear it is, and it's just one of those books that's so old at this point, and I have so many new things to read that it just always gets pushed back on my list. Like I'll get to it.
Yeah, no, it's I love that book, but just because I love that book doesn't mean I'm gonna like this show.
Right.
Is there a release date yet for this friggin' show?
I don't think so.
See, I thought that's that's right. Like I thought you were, no.
Next up, we got a clip of the beginning of Injustice, which, for those who don't know, is actually out today.
Yes, it came out today, even though you've seen literally like 100 reviews of it over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, because it leaked 2 weeks ago, and everyone's like, Benny, what's your opinions on Injustice? I was waiting for the actual release because I don't torrent or rip stuff or whatever, so I was waiting for the release. It's officially out today, but all I've heard is that it's terrible.
Yeah.
And all I can tell you, to just tell you why it's apparently terrible, is instead of doing Injustice like the 12 issues and going a nice fleshed out story, they apparently tried to do all 5 years in 90 minutes.
Oh my God, no.
The 5-year video for us on our channel is like 3.5 hours long, and they wanted to do it in 90 minutes.
That sucks.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it. I have not seen it. I've seen a couple clips.
Me too. Me too.
I'll watch it and we'll do a review of it on the other channel, but
oops. That's a shame because like that could have
less
been
than 90 minutes.
Because that's the thing is like you could have easily made like Injustice Year 1, Year 2, Year 3.
Yes.
Like you could have just done comic book adaptations of Injustice and just print money.
But here's the thing that blows my mind. And the chat also brought this one up. Long Halloween got 2 parts.
Yeah.
So why didn't Injustice? And Injustice Year 1, because they didn't expect it to sell well, actually ends where it could just be an ending.
Right.
So if you were concerned that Injustice Year 1 wouldn't sell, you could just do that.
Yep.
Leave it as it's a closed book, and then it's sold. Do the other years.
Yeah. Yeah. So stupid.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because like they don't have a lid on their distribution, so they're not going to be able to do it again for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Or they could do Year 2 and just change the animation, the voice cast, and the writing, and then maybe people would watch it.
I don't know.
But that sounds like a lot of work.
I feel like they've ruined it. They've ruined the attempt at doing a live action or a movie version of Injustice. The only other attempt they could do would have to move into, okay, we're doing Zack Snyder's universe, which is kind of Injustice.
Which is basically Injustice, yeah. Or just finally make Injustice 3.
Yeah, that would work too. So next up we have the first look at the Blue Beetle suit in the upcoming Blue. I must have gone to the bathroom here.
We did not see a suit.
Yeah.
No. They said they have a suit, but we haven't seen it.
We saw concept art that had the suit.
We saw concept art. We saw concept art, which is basically just comic book art. Like
right, but I literally must have run to the bathroom during this because I do not remember them mentioning Blue Beetle at all.
No, I watched that. It was just like 2 dudes on a couch, 1 dude on the TV, and they're like, Blue Beetle's a thing, we're really making it, it's really gonna happen. And I'm like, okay, cool. Can't wait.
Much as I love Ted Kord, I'm excited that it is going to be Jaime Reyes because Ted Kord's just a rich guy that invents things, and Jaime Reyes has powers and like a history and the reach, and like there's a bunch of things going on with Jaime Reyes that Ted Kord has no part in.
The fact is, like, for what DC wants to do, for what Warner Brothers is trying to accomplish, for the message of the FanDome, Ted Kord doesn't make any sense. No. And that's fine. And you know what's funny? Like, you could still do Ted later. Like, you could do Jaime now because he's so unconnected to Ted.
Or just have him learning from Ted. Because that's what they did with him in the comics.
Oh, I know. But, like, you don't need to do that. Like, you could just have Ted emerge in a different place, and you could do your Blue and Gold movie and say it's in another universe. Or not. Like, you don't have to do that at all. Or you can introduce Ted later. But, like, I think it's more likely that we're just going to see Jaime.
We just do Ted like we did Hank Pym.
Right.
Ted's there. He's older. He's training.
Yeah, Ted's old. He used to be Blue Beetle. Here's his Beetle Bug thing, the flying hover car. Yeah.
All right, Blue Beetle movie. DC's Monkey Prince is going to be returning in February 2020 in a Okay, so I meant to look this up earlier and I forgot to.
It was in the DC
Is that
showcase.
Well, no, I saw that and was interested in that because I like that kind of stuff. But did he actually? Okay, no, he is a brand new hero that was brought into the Festival of Heroes, the Asian superhero celebration. Okay.
Yes.
Because the way they were talking was like he's some classic hero, and I'm like, how did I not know DC had a Monkey Prince situation going on?
Nope, that was no. I think Yang introduced him later, or like in that book, and then they're like, he's getting his own book. It's like, okay, cool.
Okay, cool. I was shocked that I saw that. I'm like, how did I miss that this guy exists?
Yeah, no, that's it. You missed nothing.
Yeah, and next up, Gotham Knights official Court of the Owls story trailer was released.
Yep.
I'm excited for this. They got Scott Snyder on board to kind of help get it going, and he's kind of keeping it on track. The game looks great. This one was a story trailer, but we got gameplay last time.
Yes.
So this one actually, unlike Suicide Squad, we know a little bit about. Drop in, drop out co-op. You can be any one of the Bat family. We don't know if it's going to be Avengers style or if it's going to be Arkham style, if it's going to be a live service or not. Rumors have been going crazy and buzzwords are being shot down. So it looks fun. I'm going to be excited about it no matter what. It looks closer to Arkham than like a live service game.
I hope it is, because that's such a good idea. Like, because, Avengers didn't work.
No, I am an Avengers player, and I have played all of Avengers, and Avengers doesn't work. They need some major fixes going on there.
Yep.
So...
yeah.
But all right, moving on. If you want to know, we did a full discussion on the what is known about the plot, the story, and everything, because Sal's not that big of a gamer, with our absolute PlayStation and Steam gamer buddies over at that channel. Like I said, it's the babiest of the channels. It's the smallest, but we do have some very avid gamers over there, and we make sure we talk about everything from all the Marvel, DC, and every other game we play. So
yeah.
Batwoman is returning for a third season, and as Dan put it, had an interesting trailer.
Here's the thing about that trailer, because Dan, okay, so they wanted to do like a kind of 60s Mod Squad type, like very stylized trailer, and I think what they wanted to do succeeded. Like they were able to make a kind of 1960s funkadelic kind of trailer to sell this Batwoman show,
right?
Or at least this season. Like they nailed it. It looks horrible.
It looks like So for those who don't know, Batwoman is contractually obligated to do 3 seasons. Even though Ruby Rose left, they signed a deal with, I think, Netflix, but I'm not 100% who it's with.
Right,
they have to make 3 seasons of Batwoman. That's why there was a recast in an attempt to revitalize Batwoman, and it apparently didn't work because now we're trying Batwoman and Alice. They're like doing a last-ditch effort to be like, okay, look, maybe we can get somebody to watch this thing.
Right? I gotta tell you, man, that Batwoman suit. I haven't really. I don't watch Batwoman. I don't watch CW, so like I haven't seen it. But like that Batwoman suit is embarrassing. Like she looks.
It looked
awful.
good on Ruby Rose. Changing out the hair, the wig, everything about it. I don't like the new version they went with.
No, it's really embarrassing. Like I was just like, oh my god, like that's not even like a thing. That's not even like close to amateur cosplay. That's like, that's like you didn't care.
Well, no, but you know what it says to me? That once Ruby Rose left and they knew that the show needed a new life, they also cut the budget.
Oh yeah,
the budget went out the window, and they're like,
you
all
could
right,
feel the budget on this show.
They're like, it doesn't have any hope left. We got rid of the actress we picked out, and we're gonna bring in this new actress.
Replaced, like the Batwoman quit.
Batwoman quit.
Yeah. Like, and by the way, like, I'm not watching the show, so I can't speak to who, like, whether Rose did a good job versus this person. Like, I don't care.
I dropped off after season 1. I was like,
I'm
not interested. I would have preferred a recasting of Kate Kane.
Right.
Instead of being like, no, we got a new person who's going to be Batwoman.
Just recast. Like, what? Yeah, when I heard that like they were going to, in canon, suggest that Ruby Rose's character might return, I'm like, no, she left the show. Like, she's never coming back. What are you hedging your bets for? And it's like, some of these decisions they make are just baffling. But like, I saw that, I'm like, whoa, no. It looks really bad.
We were watching it in our absolutely Marvel and DC chat where we plan out the stuff we're going to be filming. And I put in there, is Batwoman going insane? And everyone's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, here's the trailer. And everyone was like, oh my God.
Yeah. No, I couldn't believe it. But, I mean, like, I appreciate that they, because these people, they're TV people, they're not comic book people. So they're like, we're going to make like a kind of fun, kind of hip 1960s throwback trailer. And I'm like, okay, you did that. But like,
according to the chat, they actually went in and actually did recast Kate Kane.
Okay.
But my point is not recast her and then move her off the show. They should have just been like, you're the new Kate Kane Batwoman.
You're Batwoman now.
Yeah, that's it. I haven't
really
watched the
weird.
second season, so maybe it's an amazing plot and it makes sense. But based on the ratings, that's all I'm working off of. I dropped off on the show when Ruby Rose left and was like, I'm not going to...
I'm not going to watch this dead show walking. Like, it's a dead show. The star left. It'd be like if Arrow launched and Stephen Amell's like, I quit. And they and instead of recasting, they were like, it's going to be about someone else now.
Being Arrow. Like,
no, not Arrow. Like, it's because, that's right. Yeah, someone else becomes Arrow. Like, someone totally different. Not Green Arrow. Like, he's not Ollie Queen. It's somebody else. Like, Roy Harper will become Arrow.
Yeah. And that's, so, I mean, for the record, we're just talking about what we've seen, heard, and whatever, but, I mean, maybe it's amazing, and I know it's got fans.
Yeah, it could be
otherwise
amazing.
It has to exist somewhere.
Well, you said they were contractually obligated to make 3 seasons. So
well, they were, so they were going to do it either way. And I applaud them for making an attempt at trying to revitalize it.
Right.
I just don't, if in the end they ended up recasting Kate Kane anyway.
Yeah. You did that anyway. How weird. It's so weird. And by the way, like, it would have been fun, like, if nobody cares about the show. Like, if they were just like, we've halved the budget and we don't care anymore. We're not going to watch you anymore. Like, from the studio perspective, it's like, cool. Let's make let's really mess around with this show. Like, I would love to see that, but I think I think that the Mod Squad trailer cut was the closest thing to like creative they've been with this show.
They're trying. I got to give them credit for giving it an attempt. Like they're trying to make this work, but
yeah. I was like, who the hell is Alice? Like, they were like, it's Batwoman and Alice. I'm like, is she like Harley Quinn? What's
here's
happening?
the worst part. Alice, unless I'm remembering this, is Kate Kane's sister in the show.
Right.
So she has
just reminding you, like, hey, you know who's not in the show?
Right. So
the main character.
Alice is like directly related to the main character, and that was the core plot. Alice, Kate Kane, and her father, and the dynamic between them, which actually made the show interesting. And then they removed Kate Kane, and they're like, okay, so this new woman, she's Batwoman,
right?
And it's like, oh, that doesn't work. Like, it's not the same,
right?
And then they're bringing in Batwing next, which I'm all on board with, but I am just going to say, because I feel the same way about the guy playing Red Hood on Titans.
Yeah.
They're getting really short actors, and it just looks weird with these really short actors walking around the suits. It's just personal opinion.
No,
I'm
it's
watching
true.
it still, but...
Still watching it, but woof. Yeah, agreed.
She was the sister of the comics, too, yeah.
Great.
So, all right. So anyway, moving on to the next topic, because, I mean, now this is just going to turn into a on...
on Batwoman, a show we're not watching, so...
Exactly. Catwoman Hunted is getting an animated movie focusing on Catwoman and Batwoman Kate Kane.
Right.
Just to reiterate my previous point about why didn't you just recast Kate Kane and make her Batwoman, the rest of the DC universe hasn't shifted to this new Batwoman.
I'm kind of amazed.
If they had
really
decided
expected
to, if they had decided, like, in the comic Kate Kane's retired, on this new movie Kate Kane's retired, okay, we're moving in this direction, fine.
Yeah.
But everything else is like, nope, Kate Kane's still a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of figured when Jim Lee drew the new Batwoman in the last FanDome promo.
I thought that we were going to swap her out. And I'm like, okay, they're going to do a big swap out. They did
Comic
not.
synergy, they do that, but like they didn't. It's like, that's kind of amazing.
So the new Catwoman movie, I think, looks amazing. I keep making the reference of Totally Awesome Spies.
It looks exactly like that. It looks just like that.
And I really want to watch this, so I'm on board with this one.
Yeah, it looks fun. I was skeptical until I watched the trailer. I was like, oh, it's cute.
I remember when we were having the meeting, you were like, oh, we're going to talk about the trailers. You're like, Catwoman? Animated? And you're like, whatever. And I'm like, no, watch the trailer. We got to talk about this one.
Yeah. No, I saw it still, and I'm like, give me a break. And then I was like, oh, okay, it's cute. All right, fine.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Legends of Tomorrow is going to reach its 100th episode, which is funny when you watch the montage they made. 100 episodes in 100 seconds. Because if you watch it, it starts with how serious the show was.
Right.
And then as it goes from like actual fights and battles and stuff like that, it begins to move into unicorns and like Old West and like big gummy bears. And I'm going to bring in the guy that's actually watching Legends of Tomorrow. What did you think about the montage?
I thought it was actually pretty good. It was a great representation of the show because, like you said, it started off with an incredibly serious tone, and then that was thrown so far out the window that you don't even know what kind of tone it is. But I thought it was really good. And I mean, the show definitely deserves to make it to 100 episodes. So
Nice.
For those who don't know, and I don't know if it's still true, but the old rule was the show would only get syndication past 100 episodes.
That's right.
That's why 100 episodes was such a monumental moment, because
Yes.
that means the show will now live on in reruns.
Yes, and the actors who make that show will be paid forever.
Yep.
Like they're taken care of. So yeah.
I don't know how true that is with the modern day TV show format, but
Probably. I'm sure it does, but like, a lot of these actors really want to be part of something seminal, which is why no one's upset that Breaking Bad wasn't 100 episodes.
yeah.
So, yeah.
right.
All right, bye, Dan. All right, so next up, we've got Batman Unburied, an original narrative broadcast coming from Spotify next year. Okay, all I'm going to say about this is whoever is doing this stuff on Marvel and DC, I'm available. I will read whatever you want me to read on Spotify. I will promote it on my channels. My entire brand is narratively reading comic book stories. Why has no one hit me up
I'm surprised.
to even do a demo reel? Just be like, Benny, why don't you audition? I will.
Yeah. I'm telling you, what you need to do, man, is just like send it or make one. Like just make a video called like my audition tape. This is me.
But I don't even know where to send it, man.
No,
One's like, it's not
you
like I
release
get an
it-
email where they're like, Benny, hey, this is kind of up your alley. Here, just send it here if you want to audition. I'll audition. It's fine.
Release it on Comicstorian. No, like show them your video doing better than their actual product, and
no,
they'll be
because
like,
then they'll shut me down.
it's one or the other. They'll either shut you down or they'll call you. But it's a gamble.
I'm not taking that risk.
It's a gamble. It is a gamble, though. Yeah. No, it's funny. But I hear you. No, I know. Like, whenever they say, like, we're going to make a podcast, I'm like, yeah? Yourselves?
Oh, man. Like, they're like, it's like all the Wolverine stuff. Like,
I know, the Wolverine
you have a
thing.
narrator. I will narrate it. It's fine.
You're like, I've been doing it for 10 years. I'll do it. No. We got people for that.
So I don't. Yeah, I find it hilarious. I don't even know where to apply for these things. They just come out of nowhere.
They
Spotify
do.
cut a deal. Where was the casting call for that thing?
Right? It had to have been online. Because it's not like they're... Yeah. No, it had to have been online. It's weird.
I mean, I'm all for it. If I could somehow start a voice acting career doing narration, I got the comic career. I'm trying to get the writing career. I'll do a voice acting career. Benny can have as many careers as Benny wants. I got like 8 plates spinning right now, Sal.
That's
I can do it.
Yeah, you could read a script sent to you by DC.
Yeah. So whatever. All right. That's all we got to say about that one.
Whatever.
Hire me. I'm available. Comicstorian@gmail.com. Hire me. All right. So next up, we've got Batgirl. Barbara Gordon's going to get her own live action film for the first time. Not much is said, but it's confirmed that she will have a full cowl and red hair in the movie. New concept art of the suit was shared. This is just, as far as I'm concerned, them confirming the rumors that they are making a Batgirl movie.
Yeah, they're just like, you might have heard we're making a Batgirl movie. We still are. I've
Here's
heard
confirmation.
rumors. Yeah, I've heard rumors J.K. Simmons is going to be Gordon in that one. I have no idea.
Oh, please don't mix and match. Just
Yep. Nope, they're going to
I like the idea of individual movies, but I also like the idea of a consistent continuity. And if I got to pick one, I want the consistent continuity.
Me too.
So
I know.
all right. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that works. I mean, what else? They didn't give us anything. What are we going to say about it?
No,
Like,
I know. It's nothing to talk about.
Titan Season 4 was announced. Yay.
Yeah, I saw a clip where they break into Wayne Manor. It looked very bad.
It's
But,
the
what
show
do I
is
know?
actually not bad. The show's big issue has 2 major issues, in my opinion. It's one, they made the cast too big, and they're trying to tell a Nightwing story. 2,
Yeah.
I feel like the show should be done in 6 episodes, but they are extending it to make it function. So you'll have an episode where Red Hood is being Red Hood, and then the very next episode he's being shot down by Scarecrow, only for the very next episode he decides to shoot down the Scarecrow and become Red Hood, only for the next episode for Scarecrow to be like, no, you're my bitch, only for the next episode for Red Hood to be like, no, I'm playing against the Scarecrow. It's like, you're shifting way too much because you're trying to stretch this. Like,
Yeah. No.
just do a Red Hood thing for 6 episodes, then do your Starfire thing for 6 episodes.
Outrageous.
Stop trying to mix and match.
No, it's not going to work. Like you know, it must be cheaper to just film all the Red Hood stuff at once.
Yeah.
You have the suit, you have the actor, you have like a half of a minute's worth of interest in this thing. Make a Red Hood like half season or 3-episode arc, and like release that. You'd be like the Red Hood episodes, like I don't know, rather than try and like weave together a show that's competing with itself.
Also, they keep killing people in the show, and now they've just got a Lazarus pit in their back pocket, Sal. They're just like, oh, you died? Splash!
Oh, no.
So, like they've removed all stakes. Like, they have a Lazarus pit.
That's like the Dragon Balls. They're like, oh, no, he's dead. Get the Dragon Balls. We'll go we'll go save him.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to watch it. I'm in for the ride at this point, but...
Yeah.
Also, another thing, if anybody at HBO is watching, I saw you guys sent out like Titans fan merch to like influencers. Where's my Red Hood helmet? They sent out the jacket and the helmet, Sal, and I didn't get it.
I can't believe you didn't get it.
How did I not get it? We even know the people in this one.
Yeah, that's weird. That's messed up. It's not fair.
This podcast is going to turn into Benny being like, if you're watching my show,
give me my stuff. Give me my free stuff. Come on. I mean, it's a Red Hood helmet. Come on.
I would, yeah. If they had sent that to me every episode, I'd be like, all right, Sal. All right.
Boom.
So anyway, Sal, I'm going to talk about Red Hood.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Next up, we've got Harlequin Season 3 in the works. This is so early. It was nothing but sketches.
Oh, well, they complained about how they're like not done and they have all this work to do, and then they animated an entire keynote speech by Harley Quinn and King Shark, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I didn't even think about that
because the animation was great, and I'm like, this is really good. This is show quality. Why did you do that?
And then they just showed like sketches.
yeah, like okay. I mean, I listen. I loved that show. I can't wait for season 3. I'll watch the hell out of it. But and it was cute. It was a really fun little scene with like Harley Quinn and King Shark. It was great, and it was really much the tone of the show. But like, what are you doing? Like, just have Kaylee Cuoco go up there by herself against a green screen. Save yourself some money. What's wrong with you?
I mean, you could have just had the actress who plays her on that show.
That's what I'm saying.
Katie something. She's
Kaylee
famous.
Cuoco. Yeah, she's famous.
Not. It's not like she's a nobody.
No. It's weird. But good. I can't wait.
Yeah. Then we got Batman Cape Crusader announced a spiritual successor to Batman the Animated Series. I'm excited because actually we did a full discussion of this on Absolutely Marvel and DC.
We did.
And I researched it, and there has not been a Batman-centric TV show since 2013.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Well, I'm hyped. It looks, I mean, like from what they've described, sounds like amazing. Sounds like an amazing show.
We also got a quick super chat, $2 from Khalil Frederick. Did you guys hear that J.K. Simmons is confirmed for Batgirl? We have heard that. We discussed it and mentioned a few minutes ago. So
yes, we did.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Young Justice Phantoms dropped with the first 2 episodes, which I didn't know the first 2 episodes dropped, so we didn't watch it.
No.
I'm just excited, and maybe the first 2 episodes prove me wrong. It looks like they're finally focusing on Young Justice. For those who don't remember, I did a rant about season 3, and my complaint was you took your Young Justice show and you gave me a whole new team that I didn't want to watch. Right. I don't care about those characters, and I don't care that they were trying to make me care about those characters. I wanted my Young Justice show that you gave me for the first 2 seasons.
Right.
So it looks like we're going back to like Nightwing, Superboy, all those characters, or it's a terrible debate because that's what's on the poster.
Right. I hope it's not. I hope it's not a bait and switch because like I know people love that show and I get it.
Yeah.
Like, and it was one of those things. It was a fan favorite show, and it's like. I heard people complaining where it's like the last one was bad, like the last season was lousy, and I'm like, man, like if they brought back my favorite show,
it wasn't like lousy. They just moved casts. Like, why would you change up your cast that hardcore?
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch a show that's a sequel season to a new show, or to my favorite show with a new cast. Like, I'm not gonna watch that. I don't care about them.
So.
Yeah.
According to our chat, it's a Connor and McGann show, and I'm on board with that because those are 2 of the characters that
they were in the show.
Yeah.
That's their show, yeah.
All right, so moving on, we've got a first look at the upcoming show, Naomi. They showed the character, and they showed her falling over, and basically the opening scene of the comic where Superman flies over.
Yep.
The only question I've had since this show was announced.
Right.
Why does it exist? It's a brand new character that Bendis made like 3 years ago.
There's 6 issues of that book.
Yeah, like the book barely exists.
Yep.
She's in the Justice League now.
Yep, because Bendis is writing Justice League.
The book didn't blow up and get stellar numbers.
No, it was a good book, by the way. I did read Naomi and I liked it, but it's like,
Yeah.
it wasn't a huge deal.
It wasn't earth-shattering. It's like it was one of those books I read. I'm like, that was pretty good, and I put it aside, and that was the end of Naomi for me. So I just don't know why this exists. Like, if you're going to make DC properties, and I'm even going to go, you're trying to go with a young black lead,
right?
I'm sure. I mean, what about was it Icon and
Icon and Rocket? Yeah, but like that'd be awesome.
But that's what I'm saying.
I feel like they probably want something that they own wholesale. They don't have to deal with. Like Milestone is a mixed bag. I get the desire to make something that they like just own without any like nonsense, like without any like compromise. Naomi, I think, fits the plan for CW. You know, it's like CW. We're making shows for teenagers about teenagers.
Yeah, and I feel like Bendis wrote it because I think he wrote this one for his daughter. I think that was the thing with this.
Yeah, like he did with Riri Williams, and like he did with like every other character he's created over the last 10 years. Yes.
I mean, I'm not against the guy writing stuff for his daughter.
No, it's nice.
But I'm just saying, like, they could have easily been like, oh, it's a DC property. Oh, it's about a young teenage black girl. Yeah, let's make a show.
Yeah, sold, done, make it. We got a pilot. We're good. Like the 6 issues is like the first season. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was written as a season. Yeah. So
yeah.
All right. I know. I find it weird that they're moving on this show when there's still so many DC properties they could have pulled from.
I think it's just the desirability of like, you mean there's only 6 issues? Like we can make up everything else and like no one will complain or yell at us. They'll just accept it as Bible truth. Like
that's true.
Done.
I honestly didn't even really look at it from that point of view because part of my argument, and we're going to make a whole podcast about this, Dan and I over on the Comics Experiment, about the MCU versus the DC, is part of it is because there's expectations of the DC characters versus MCU characters.
Right.
Only comic book fans cared, and they got too big to care about that voice.
Yep.
So having expectations ruins. Like we expect things on the Flash. I'm going to expect nothing on Naomi.
Right. What is the expectation? Like maybe there's only 6 issues. So it's like they'll probably do those 6 issues. And if they don't, you'll see at least references to them.
It's also probably because Stargirl did so well.
Yeah.
Because Stargirl doesn't have a lot of history. They were really able to do whatever the hell they wanted with Stargirl.
Totally.
So it might be like, what other young female characters can we grab and do that with?
Totally. Can we do Stargirl again? Yeah, here you go.
Probably, yeah.
Right?
All right, so moving on to the next one. For the record, I'm going to watch Naomi to see what they do with it.
Of course.
My complaint with the trailer was only like, because we were watching it in a group on our Discord, the Comicstorian Discord at the time. And I'm like, what school is she in that she can just walk out of class, jump on a skateboard in the hallway?
Is this like, is this?
And like some hall monitor is not tackling this girl.
There's no way that this is real. Like, there's no way schools like this like right now because it was hard.
If that is school right now, I grew up in the wrong age, man.
Oh yeah. No, totally. It was not my school.
Yeah, and for the chat, I knew that Stargirl has some meat to her history, but compare Stargirl's history to the Flash's history. They can get away with a lot more. It's why Marvel picks a lot of the superheroes that they do pick. That's why, like, Monica Rambeau is getting a show. We talked about that rumor.
Yeah.
Why do you think Monica Rambeau is getting a show? Her history is a lot lighter than, say, grabbing a classic Marvel superhero who has 60 years of history.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're treating the X-Men and the Fantastic Four with, like, kids' gloves, being like, okay, we got to be very careful. It's because they have 60 years of fans freaking out on them over it. So
yeah, they have to get it right.
Yeah, and I'll discuss that whole thing with Dan on another episode, or maybe Sal and I will at one point. But that we are already way over our normal time for this show.
It's true.
So I'm going to move on to the next topic.
Yeah.
Shazam: Fury of the Gods went behind the scenes, but the movie won't be coming out until 2023. Okay,
it's a long time.
I'm excited for that. My only complaint is. You got a problem here. Your kid looks like he's bigger than Zachary Levi now.
Yep. Yep. Nope. Those kids do not look like kids anymore, which was to be expected. So, whoops.
But, like, they grew so fast.
Yeah. No. Well, because they're teenagers. Like, they're gonna hit growth spurts. They waited too long. I mean, I'm glad. I'm sure it'll be fun. I hope it is. But, you don't need those actors. You don't need the adult actors to play them anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be interesting. I know that the sister, I guess it's the same actor for both now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Mary Marvel. Yeah, that makes sense.
How long before Zachary Levi is Billy Batson?
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know, it was interesting to see that because when he first came on the screen, I'm like, who the hell is this kid?
Right. Oh,
You're talking about Shazam? And I had to Google. I'm like, oh my god, that's the kid from Shazam.
Yeah. Oh, it's Billy. He's an adult now. Yeah. I know.
It always was the same actress. Yeah. I saw a whole thing about why they chose to do that, and they swapped out the actress. Something I don't know. We'll talk more about Mary Marvel when we get closer. We got 2 years to deep dive into what happened on the Shazam.
That's true. Yeah.
Wonder Woman 80th anniversary celebration. Next, we'll see a massive crossover, the trial of the Amazons, which will affect all corners of Wonder Woman's world. It looks like it's got Yara Flor, Diana, and what's that? What's her name?
Artemis is in there.
Artemis is in there.
Oh, Nubia.
Nubia, that was it. Nubia is going to be in there. They're making a real big push to bring back Nubia, who's been kind of gone since the 1980s.
Yep.
I think it was the 80s was the last time she was like relevant.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
maybe the 90s. The 90s was a dark time.
But they're bringing back like every version of Wonder Woman, including new and old, and they're all coming in. So
yep,
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
See, we got Pennyworth season 3 confirmed, and it will debut. Okay, so I've never seen the show because I had no way at all to watch it. Now I'm gonna watch it because it's a spy show.
Yeah,
with a guy named Pennyworth.
That's a cool idea, but like I'm not here for that.
Yeah,
I'm not here for Alfred shows.
No, I'm gonna watch that.
Okay.
But it's funny the way they handled that because they talked so much more about Titans. It's almost like they knew no one's going to care about Pennyworth. So they were just kind of like, yeah, season 3. Here's the actors. Okay, moving on. Titans are like, here's a clip from the final episode. We got season 4, and here's the actor talking to his daughter in the car. And like, you know.
Yeah.
And Dibber's like, here's Larry Trainer. Look at him. He's doing all his stuff, and it's going to be great. And Pennyworth's a thing.
Yeah. and we're making Pennyworth. You remember that show? Are you watching it yet? No? Okay, damn.
And then, of course, we got the Batman trailer, which just looks incredible.
Yeah. This movie is going to be nuts.
Yeah, I did a whole discussion on it with Sal, 20 minutes long over an Absolutely Marvel in DC. I suggested theories for how the Joker can show up and got lambasted. If you want to join that discussion and continue to lambast me, go on over there. Tell me how wrong I am.
Yeah.
But the general consensus that we all had about that trailer is that it's going to be amazing. I'm going to watch this movie. And if the leaked rumors are true that it's 3 hours long, I'm on board. I'm on board at this, like all the way through.
Yeah. Oh, no. It looks great. It looks really cool. I love like all the design decisions on this, like in this movie. I love the bat. Like when we talked about it in depth, we talked about the cowl and how it's like, it's a little weird. But I like what it's made of. I like the silhouettes of everybody. If not like the actual Catwoman suit, I like the idea behind it and like what it looks like when she's jumping off rooftops and doing Catwoman stuff. That the car is dope. Like there's a lot to like. And my only hope is that like the hype and the rumors about this movie are true and real, and that if they are, that they want to keep making more because like. Colin Farrell as Penguin, he looks like comic book Penguin. Like he looks like comic book Penguin. Like we're seeing like we could get a real blend of like comic book and like semi quasi realistic. Like we could bridge that gap between like Tim Burton and Christopher Nolan to something that like really works. I mean, we had it for a little while with Batman with Affleck, but like A, he's old. B, it's done. C, let's make it with a younger group. Like let's do something here. Let's build a universe, please.
So, I mean, I'm just excited about it. I don't know. There's not much more to add to it.
No, I'm hyped.
And the last news that we have to talk about is not FanDome related. We already talked about the MCU getting pushed back, and you didn't even remind me of that one. But
yeah.
I guess also a couple Untitled ones were removed from the schedule.
Yeah, because they're like, I mean, they're not. We don't have a name for them. We'll just move them around.
Oh, plus I also feel like we're not fully, but we're not out of the pandemic.
No,
like every time a movie does well in the theaters, it's pandemic numbers good. Like
exactly, which like they're good and they're good numbers regardless. And that's what I want. I want it to change to where like these studios don't expect $1 billion for making a $200 million movie. Yeah.
So, but the thing I find this last news that Dan put on here kind of funny.
Yeah.
A new She-Hulk comic series is coming out in January 2022. It looks like it's going to have classic She-Hulk, and at the end of issue 1, it will no less shake up She-Hulk's life, but possibly the whole Marvel Universe.
Sure.
In 3 years, do you know how many shake-ups She-Hulk has had?
Yeah, all of them.
Every comic is like a brand new beginning for Jennifer Walters. We're going to shake up her life, her ramifications from her brother Bruce or cousin Bruce. Like,
yeah, no,
what?
it's true. Yeah.
Why?
No, I know.
You just did 50 issues of the Savage She-Hulk. Now what?
No, I'm excited because, like, you know, normally comic movie synergy doesn't work, right? Like, it's frustrating. It feels tacked on, but like this is getting She-Hulk kind of back to basics so that people can be like, oh, this is what She-Hulk is. Like this, what you've described was like a 3-year window of what She-Hulk was, which is like insane.
Yeah.
And it's not like the majority of her existence has been.
No, the majority of her existence has been a fourth wall breaking character that is a lawyer and an Avenger. She's able to stay in her form, no problems at all. She's a strong character. She's got no problems. And for the last 3 years, they've been trying so hard to just like beef her out. Like,
well, they're like fix her or do anything with her that's like new, different, or weird. It's like
the Avengers run with her Savage She-Hulk form I've actually really been enjoying.
Yeah.
But all these other weird attempts like Gray She-Hulk, where she was like watching cooking videos for 4 issues.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm glad to see like a return to form for She-Hulk, only in as much as like I've always liked She-Hulk. She's always been a really like positive character. And I'd like to see that again. Like, she was always really optimistic and positive, and I like that aspect of her. I've always liked that aspect of her character. When they were like, she's PTSD now, I'm like, like, that's too bad. Like, does everyone have to be miserable now? Like, you know, like, she got hit in the chest with a rocket. Like, she's gone through harder times.
Yeah.
Like, I think she survived a nuclear explosion one time. Like, I feel like she wouldn't really be that upset. But what do I know?
Especially in the world of Marvel, like when they were like, she's really upset that Bruce died.
Yeah.
Okay. But we all know he'll be back in like a month. Even
right,
in
the
universe, they reference that now. Like,
yeah. She of all people should know that. That like Bruce is coming back.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that is the end of an Absolute Comics episode. For those who are watching for the very first time, due to our dual stream over at YouTube, this is a podcast that Sal and I created about 2 years ago. We every Tuesday get together at 5 p.m. Eastern over at twitch.tv/Comicstorian at the Comicstorian Podcast Network. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we're bringing you various podcasts from discussing news, things like that, news, issues,
comics,
reviews, comics, movies. We also do a D&D game over there. We also do a more in-depth discussion. Dan and I are discussing what it's going to be this week. But I think we're leaning towards something involving Gotham Knights. It's basically what we're getting
Makes sense.
Right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to join this, if you want to join the fun of this, go check us out on your favorite podcast network, Spotify, Apple, all that kind of stuff. You can also find the episodes uploaded to YouTube at the Absolute Comics channel, where we put up all the additional podcast format stuff we have. Sal and I also discuss a lot of the movies and do trailer reviews and discussions and analytical stuff, like takes on things on a regular basis over at our other channel, Absolutely Marvel and DC. And if you enjoyed Sal's opinions and you want to see him discuss more things, check him out at Comic Pop. Today's sponsor has been G Fuel. Use code COMICS at checkout to get yourself 10% off your order, or 30% if you happen to stick around until this weekend. And on that, I think that's the entirety of the episode. We might still dual stream these, we might not. It'll be unlisted once it's done, but I hope you guys enjoyed watching it live. Stick around afterwards, we'll answer a couple of questions, but this has gone on way longer than intended, so we're not going to be around here for very much longer. And if you're on the Twitch side, please stick around. We'll be raiding Tiffany very soon. Unless she's not live, Sal will
No, she is.
me. Okay, cool.
Yeah, she's playing the Alan Wake remastered game for Halloween.
Okay, sweet. So, all right. Thank you guys so much, and close out the episode.